Hello, everyone, and welcome back to That Eurovision Side. It's Nicklas here. I'm joined by Tim, and today we will be discussing Georgia's entry for this year's Eurovision, which is Bzikebi and the song On Replay. So, for people like me who has been a fan of Junior Eurovision for a while, people may remember Bzikebi as the winners of Junior Eurovision all the way back in 2008 with Biz, the only song to win a Eurovision event in an imaginary language. But now they are here at Eurovision. We also had them as an interval act at the Junior Eurovision in Tbilisi back in last year. And I feel like, the rumors about them potentially being an act for Eurovision kind of started around that time. Tim, did you have in mind that they might be the representative when we saw them at Junior?
No, not really. I thought it was like, okay, well, them and, Candy was there thinking, okay, no, they're just there playing new music. That's all I could think of. I was still annoyed that they didn't play their actual songs, but that's another story. But I was just like, okay, well, what a nice way for these groups to come back and just, reminisce about the good times, not thinking that, something big was going to happen afterwards. But what
Yeah,
about
I
you?
think yeah, I think I thought somewhere around the same. Like it made sense to bring them back. They are both Sigibi and Candy are some of the most memorable of the Georgian winners, I think. So having them as interval acts made total sense. But I think I was also like surprised by how good the song was, the song that they did at Junior Eurovision, We Don't Sleep. And I think a lot of people were taken by surprise that they could actually make something and perform something that felt way cooler and way more modern and grown up mature than I think a lot of us had thought that they could do, because it's like it's been so many years since we've seen them on stage. So I think, while I don't know for sure, like when they were picked, of course, I do think some of the positive reception to their performance at Junior might have been what made the Georgian broadcaster choose them. What do you think?
I think there has been an itch just because Georgia is the most successful, well, I think is jointly successful with France for the win in Junior Eurovision. So I'm just thinking, well, you know, some of our junior winners are now of age to, go to the contest. What's the harm in sending them and potentially maybe doing a double? Like, it's not impossible. Like, some people have gotten very close. Like, I'm trying to think who was the closest one. I'd say Malta with Destiny. She came like what, fifth, fourth, or fifth, something like that. But, I don't see them thinking, okay, well, you know what? Let's see how they would fare. Because I think from looking at it, they're not the first, but they're like the second act that's been to part of a winner. Because I know Iru represented Georgia in 2023. So it's like, okay, well, we tried that, but didn't that kind of backfire? But let's see if we brought these trio and see how that goes. Because, you know, I would say that they're unique in their own right, and I'm just looking by saying, okay, Georgia just seen like what's currently happening in terms of like selections and who's been selected. Maybe like, yeah, no, let's bring some party. Why not? Let's see how they would fare because I'm very curious about because from looking at it, they've grown up so much. Obviously, like what were they like in 2008? But I would say it's a choice, and it's a choice that I'm really curious to see how that would pan out.
Yeah, I think I was very excited about, because I think you mentioned Euro there as well, and while she didn't go through to the final when she participated, there was still a lot of love for her and for the song, and there has been that itch for, I think, many people like me who has watched Junior Eurovision over the years to see some of these Georgian superstars. I think Georgia in particular is one of the countries that people look at because they've done so well in Junior. They've had such a formula there, so many great songs. And we're missing that in Eurovision. Of course, it's hard to translate, and it's a completely different competition. But I think they're trying out some stuff here
Mhm.
with Bzikebi this year as well, and I think it's fun to see them here. Not necessarily the most likely past junior winner to have at Eurovision. I think I didn't expect to see them return in a way like this, but it'll be interesting to see how they will do and if this could maybe be something that they want to continue performing together in the future. But let's talk a little bit about the song itself. It is this fun dance pop track called On Replay. It is written by Giga Kuhiratse, who is also the person who's behind many of their past Junior Eurovision entries, and also by Lizzie Japaritse, aka Lizzie Pop, who represented them at Junior back in 2014. So a lot of former junior stuff in here. I think this is actually a lot better than I had imagined going in. What were your some of your first reactions to the song?
I mean, it's definitely an earworm. I will say that. I I think the little part of me was like, how how are you gonna bring something when the last thing that you've bought into the public was da 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 da, da. And I was just like, and I was just curious how they were gonna do that. And then I think We Don't Sleep was kind of like a teaser as to what direction they were going on. But I didn't think that they were gonna go, okay, We Don't Sleep, maybe a bit of a filler there to go to On Replay where really intense instrumentation, really catchy hooks, and it's just, you know, I was surprised because I know that the last time, I mean, let me just double check this. I know that in 2023, I'm guessing Giga was also part of the song
I
for
believe so, yes.
Eru. So that's where I was like, okay, Giga's very good at junior. And just looking at the way, obviously, Georgia fared at the same songwriting team for Eurovision, my thought was like, I was a bit apprehensive about it just because of the fact that okay, the thing that you can't always as you were saying earlier, it's difficult to, you know, translate it. You've got a lot of countries that have been very good at junior but struggle in the main Eurovision. So, but this one really upped the game. So, that's all I have to say about that because I think from fan reception as well, it's something that you could, I think all you need is one listen and it's gonna be stuck on your head. What about you?
Definitely. Yeah, I think first of all, I think I was pleasantly surprised by the vocals, both from the two Mariams, the two female vocalists, and also Gigori, I believe is his name.
Hmm.
I think they sound well together, and I think we didn't really know how they were gonna totally sound like. I think their performance at Junior last time with We Don't Sleep was a playback. So this is going to be the first time that we're really going to see them live. I think in the studio version it sounds great. We'll see how it is when it comes to the live version, of course. But I think there is something good there already. The song, like you said, it's super catchy. It sticks in your head. It has that bit of fun energy into it, but also being more of a serious song and probably more serious than I thought it was gonna be. I've seen people look at the lyrics and interpret it in sort of like an anti-AI way, and I can definitely see that as well. There could be some elements of that in it. And I think most importantly, I don't feel like this song falls into that thing is known issue that we've liked to call it, that Euro had, where the lyrics just felt a little too nonsensical, and you could tell that English is definitely not the producer's first language. I don't feel it's as bad this time. I think Lizzie has probably also helped there because she's always for me come as someone who is pretty good with her English.
Mhm.
considering everything. So I think getting her on the team was a great idea. And I think they've created something that, doesn't feel out of place at
Mhm.
Eurovision. It doesn't feel like, this is too junior or something
Mhm.
like that. It actually feels like it can compete with the others.
Mhm.
But the big question, of course, is how this song will do, because I did my reaction and I was pretty, like, I came out of that thinking this can qualify because it has a fun little dance. There are some things they can do to the staging to elevate it. And if they do it well, I actually think it could be a pretty sure qualifier. But it is one of those countries. Georgia is one of those countries where it's a little bit hard to say. So I think, do you have any thoughts? Have you gotten any thoughts on, like, how do you think they should stage this to really make it a success?
I think my main issue at the minute is just looking at where it is. Obviously, if you've been living under a rock, we do know that Georgia will be participating in the first semifinal and in the first half. And that first half is stacked like crazy. So with Georgia, there's also Greece, Moldova, Sweden, Finland, Croatia, Moldova. I think I already said Moldova, but and Belgium, amongst other things. So my concern is how will this stack up? And I think that I'm seeing that um, it's got to come down to the staging because we know what some of these like entries would look like on stage because they were selected to a national selection. So we've got an idea of what it would look like when we get to Vienna. And my concern is that that first half is so stacked that it's possible for one of them to just go. And I know that it's very unlikely for Finland, Sweden, and Moldova and Greece to not make it. I think they're a definitive goal. So my concern is Georgia's kind of like borderline on where on in terms of like qualification. So they have to bring something up that will be very memorable to be able to make it pass. It's also possible for most of the first half to qualify. Like it can happen. It has happened, I think. So, and if you're watching this and your stats, and please reconfirm that, appreciate it. But I would say that there is a way for them to get there, especially with the juries back. So it would just be depending on, how they would perform. And at the time of recording, we don't know that because we haven't seen them perform it live, and we won't know for at the time recording maybe a couple of weeks, 3 weeks when they have their performance in Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's a very good point, and I think I'm not fully up to date on where the different acts are in the different semifinals. So I think it's good you brought that up because it is going to be that difficult there, and it really depends on where the song lands in the running order. Because if it's sandwiched in between two of the fan favorites, which I can kind of see that happening, honestly, like I think then it's going to be difficult for this, no matter how they stage it. But if it gets to stand on its own, maybe like after a commercial break or whatever, if they can just get it in there like at the end of the first half, then maybe you can do it. But I think it won't be prioritized in the running order for the producers in the same kind of way that some of the other heavy hitters, and that could be an issue for this song definitely. But I'm very interested to see what they will bring because I think while we've seen a music video that feels very artsy and very minimalistic in many ways, I don't necessarily think that would be maybe the best kind of staging for it. I think actually they should go a little bit more out there, make it a little bit more fun because I feel like that's what people expect from them. That's kind of the persona that they are known for. I know they're not 10 and wearing bee costumes anymore, but still you kind of want something in there, right? Maybe not bee costumes, but
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I
I don't know. Are you thinking the same?
I think their outfits from the music video would work well.
Yeah.
I think that would be some choreo in there, but I don't know. Obviously, 'cause you have to sing. It's just the intensity of choreography. But I think judging by the experience and like how they've done things, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be a problem. My concern is just like how they're going to stage it for it to stand out so they can go past the finish line. Because last year they didn't make it. So and I really, really, really want them to make it so badly. So I'm just figuring out how that's going to pan out for them. So, you know, I think, have some dancers on there, but and maybe use the LED screen, but because I'm just trying to think how Georgia usually, has some avant-garde songs that doesn't usually mesh well with public, but it works out well for fans, and I really hope that they're able to kind of like figure an equilibrium where they can satisfy both.
Definitely. I think I would be sad if this came 11th because I can see that. I can see it happening and I think it would be so sad because I hope they don't stop taking these chances. I really feel like Georgia uh, is at its best when they actually take those chances and
Mm,
actually send something that's fun and a little bit unique. Because I think sometimes it really does work, and sometimes it really lands with the public, or there are times when it's landed with the jury as well. And I think they're so much better at that than just sending the average ballad or
yeah.
whatever. I think they're so good at this kind of genre,
Mhm.
and I would love for them to be
Mhm.
a dance pop powerhouse at Eurovision if they just gave it that little extra and
Yeah.
really went out there. But I don't know. I think I definitely I love this. I think
Yeah.
it's in my top 10 this year and I hope they do well because I
Mhm.
think they deserve it. But first and foremost, I just think it's great to see them back. It's always fun to have some like past junior winners back. Maybe
Mhm.
like as a final thing here, if they were to do it again at some point, do you have anyone of their past junior participants who you would love to also see at the adult Eurovision one day?
Hmm. Now you're making me curious. Let me think because I know that they've been very good for the past few years, but for me, my choice would be and funny thing, Miriam. But which one?
Which one
Yeah, no.
exactly?
Miriam Big Vava.
Yeah,
Because I know that that's another Georgian Junior Eurovision, which I thought would have actually been perfect for a Eurovision song. And that mix of English and Georgian blended in so well. So Giga knows what he's doing. It's just the turn. It's just getting it across. And I'm very hopeful that Georgia qualifies this year. That's all I have to say about
yeah,
that.
I think so too, and I think they could get here if he gets a few more tries. I think another one that I would mention here is their 2020 junior participant Sandra Cadelia, who was also fantastic. She has a wonderful vocal range, and I think we didn't get to see much of it because of 2020 being such a weird year. But I think she could definitely be one who could come in and do something that could do well with the juries as well. So that would be really interesting to see going forward. Maybe that I mean that's a free idea. If anyone from the broadcast is watching, there's your free
I
idea.
would love to say for her to actually get to Eurovision and actually get to sit in the green room and actually have fun.
True. We
Because
gotta
she,
give
yeah,
we gotta give the
I was,
queen something fun. Yeah, she gotta
yeah,
enjoy herself. That's true.
I was so gutted when we were like, I think we were watching, I was watching the 2020 contest, like, why is she all alone by herself in the green room? And then when the broadcast said, oh, yikes. If you didn't know, yeah, I think someone got exposed to something and then she had to sit all alone. It was like, oh no.
I
But
believe that was the case as well. Yeah, but her redemption arc may be coming. That's I think that's what we should end it off here.
yeah.
But I think we're very positive. We hope
Mhm.
Georgia qualifies this year, but we will of course see what happens. Thank you, Tim, for joining me today.
No, thank you. It's nice not to be in the not it's nice not to be the one hosting for once in a while.
I hope you can approve of my questions. I tried my best here. Yes,
Yes,
thank
I'm
you.
I'm being replaced here, unfortunately.
Exactly, it's just how it is. And
Yeah.
if you all think so, leave it in the comments below. No, but seriously, let us know in the comments, of course, what you think of this song. Let us know if you think Georgia can qualify this year or not. And thank you for watching. Like, subscribe and all that stuff if you want to see more from us. There are all our socials. They're also linked in the description. And of course, you can follow our podcast. You can check out our website at thateurovisionsite.com. There's so much stuff going on. Pre-party's coming up soon, so lots of fun stuff to check out from us very soon. But for now, once again, thank you for watching, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.